Hello, you guys. Welcome back to
This Latina Needs Therapy Too.
I am your host, Eli Ortega.
And I am your co-host, Jackie Velasco.
Welcome back to season 3.
So crazy.
It's so insane to finally fucking be here after how long?
It's been like 6 months.
6 months. I feel like we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of things that have happened within that time frame.
Yeah.
But we're so excited to finally be back and just get into it and just be on the go now.
Yeah. I freaking missed the podcast. It was like in the beginning I was kind of like, oh, this is nice. Like I kind of get to like catch up on my life, kind of like get everything in order. And then I think after like the 4th month, I was kind of like just a waiting game, just a freaking waiting game. But it was like back-to-back stuff happening.
I think for me personally, I think the first month I was like, what do I do? Like, you know, because my life is so chill that I'm just kind of like, the podcast was the one thing that like kind of kept me going. And so it was kind of hard for me to transition into going from doing the podcast to not doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we met up
like a month ago.
No, it was like month 3, I think. After 3 months, we met up and we're like, okay, like we need to talk about it, like what's happening. And then Jackie was just like, we need to get back because like I need it.
I was like, I think it's time that we should be doing more with the podcast. And to say the less, like even though we were gone, like people were still following, people were still subscribing, like and it was just like, no, we need to get our shit together.
That was what kept me going because it could get to a point when you're constantly doing something, and we've been doing this for 2 years now.
Yeah.
When you're constantly doing something and then you stop because you obviously like need a break. You kind of start feeling like, oh, like, is this something that I truly want to do again? Or is it just like something kind of like that happened and that was it, right? But what kept me going was just kind of like the energy that we bring when we do the podcast and how we feel when we're doing it. And then also like the platform that we've created. It was kind of like, we're not big like other podcasts, but like you guys, if you can see like our inbox, at least once a day, we receive like a message like, where are you guys? Come back, or like, I miss you. Like there was so many people telling us like, I went all the way back to your first episode and this whole entire time just like re-listened to everything.
Right.
It was so insane, and I was just kind of like, no, I can't let this go. Like this is us. Like
I think it's also like just hard to let it go, you know, because we built, you know, from something so small to something growing, you know?
And you know what's so crazy? That from the time that we were gone, we gained over almost 1K followers, and we haven't uploaded one episode in 6 months.
It's so insane. Like, it's so crazy. And we would text each other. I would, you know, text Ellie and just tell her, like, did you see this? Like, are you, like, what? Like, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
we were getting like shouted out on TikTok, Instagram. It was still like super dope, and it was just like, no, we can't let this go. We have to keep going. But I'm excited to be back.
So am I. I can't wait for just everything from here on out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We're dropping. You know what? I think we're at a point where we're kind of like, we're going to do what we want as far as like content, and just like really show you guys like who we truly are as like individuals. Something we talked about for this season was that for the last 2 seasons, we were open, but we were still very like,
we kind of held back a little bit
in a way, as far as like protecting ourselves. So like protecting our family issues, and you know, protecting our like partner or whatever. And I think you're gonna be able to see it through our like even just our intro. But this season we plan to be like super open and just kind of like really raw and being like, fuck it, like this is what it is.
It's time.
And like, whoever gets hurt, then I'm being honest. I'm being honest now.
You're like, fuck it.
So I think we're just gonna do some life updates.
Yeah.
Kind of go through what happened. Yeah. I think we stopped recording May officially, May or June. We dropped one last episode in June, and then it was like That was
After
it.
that was that was it.
Do you want to go first, or you want me to go?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. You know, I mean, it. I don't even know where to start.
I
to
think
be
we should start
honest.
on like why we took a break. I think that's like a significant part.
Yeah,
So essentially, I think it was in June. I texted Jackie and I was like, "Hey, dude, like, I'm falling apart." Like,
yeah, and I could just tell that she was going through a lot, and you know, as a friend, you want to be there and just support her in any way. And I'm not gonna lie, I took it from like a surprise because I was like, "Oh, what? Like we're gonna take a break?" I didn't know if you meant like a break or we were
are we breaking
officially
up?
Yeah, like I thought it was a breakup. Like I was like, "Dude, my feelings are hurt."
No, and I could just
Yeah.
tell in her face. But one thing I told her was like,
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Like,
Yeah.
I rather you be honest in me than like lie and be like, oh, I want to keep doing the podcast. Get
Right.
me, when you
Yeah.
truly, truly don't. And that's how I knew I was at my breaking point, because I always try to push through things. But it's not
Yeah.
always healthy to just push through them and
And
not
I've
actually
seen you
live
do
through
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, no, I need to just be honest. And basically that was a time in my life where I had to be okay with myself
Yeah.
not being able to do 20 things at a time.
Mhm.
Like, I'm so used to like doing that at that point I was like, you kind of have to be okay. You have to realize that you only have 2 hands and you can't do 20 things at once.
I think the biggest problem was you took on a lot and it was just so hard for you to just handle it.
Yeah.
And as a friend, like, you know, I always try to encourage her and just, you know, tell her things like, you know, everything's gonna work out. Like, you know, but sometimes things don't work out like how you imagine, you
Yeah.
know? And as a friend, all I could do is just listen to her, support her, and just have her back.
Yeah. And I honestly truly appreciate that, because anybody else who wasn't a true friend would have been like, no,
Yeah.
like, we should have not done that. Like, we're going to lose followers. But instead
Yeah.
of thinking of all of that, she was like, I totally understand. And
Right.
like, let's do it if you really need it.
Mhm.
And then I can start on my end. But basically, I don't even know how to truly like talk about it. But around June, July, I felt like I went through this like, okay, so basically, there was like a tragedy in my family a couple years ago, and I
Mhm.
think in June and July was the month that I finally was able to like uh see that person again and like truly help out. My family was like in really like in need. Um and I had to go out to Mexico and kind of like be superwoman,
Like figure things out.
figure things out for my family. And it was so healing. And I basically had my little cousins over for almost a month, and I became their mom.
She was the mom like for like a whole
Literally.
month, huh?
Guys, it was the most hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I literally was like, when they left, I was like bowing down to moms, because I'm like, it's a fucking full-time job.
Yeah.
Full-time
Mhm.
job. Like, I would be like, oh my God, I would fucking love to be a stay-at-home mom. F no.
I don't think I
No.
saw you that whole month that you
No.
were like taking care of them. Like I was like, where is she? Because usually she's out and about, but she's over here doing mom errands.
It was so insane. Like, and it's crazy because
Mhm.
before that, me and my partner were like okay with getting pregnant. Like, we were like, oh, I think we're like
Yeah.
ready. I would be okay with like getting pregnant right now.
And now-
after that, I'm like, you know what? I think we could wait another
Yeah,
5
another
years.
5 years.
Like, I just can't. Like,
Mhm.
I think we were so used to like it just being like me and him,
Right.
being able to get up whenever we want, being able to like be like, oh, we don't want to fucking do anything today. Let's just lay on the couch. You can't.
Yeah.
You literally can't. Like, there was, I think, 3 to 4 times that I freaking broke down a week. Like, I would just cry and sob and be like, oh my God, like, I need these kids back to Mexico. But it was something like truly like, I guess that I grew through it, because
Yeah.
when they left, I was like, holy shit. Like, now my house is quiet. I kind of miss them. I would go in my room and cry. But that's basically what kept me up all of like July, I think.
Yeah. It was for like a month. Month or two, I believe.
And then a crazier thing that happened when the kids were here, and it's so crazy how things work out, right? when the kids were here the last weekend, I was going to take them back to Mexico on a Sunday. And that Saturday, we went to Disneyland to kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, say our goodbyes to the kids. I took them to Disneyland, the whole entire family. I get home from Disneyland at 2 a.m. I go to sleep for like an hour or so. I get a call at 3:30, and it's the kid's dad, my uncle. And he's just like, hey, he was like, my mom passed away. My grandma.
Yeah.
And if you guys know, I am super sensitive to those things because my dad hasn't seen his mom in over like 10 years because of his immigration status. And I really took it hard because we actually started the immigration process for my parents about almost a year ago, I would say. And we're basically in the waiting game, basically for him to get approved. You can't really do anything at this point. You're kind of just have
Besides
to
wait. Yeah.
And I took it really hard because the last time I went in April, I spoke to my grandma, and I was saying goodbye, and she goes, oh, like I told her, oh, next time I come, my dad's gonna come with me, and she looks at me and she goes, I don't think I'm ever gonna see him again.
Yeah.
So when she told me that, I left to the airport in tears, like in fucking tears. Came home, I would pray almost every single day that God like allowed me to do that for my dad.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah. I
So
think that's hard.
yeah, the hardest part was not her like passing away. She was older. She was on a breathing machine. We kind of knew that like, you know, she wanted to go, especially because she was
Yeah.
here without my grandpa. The
Mhm.
hardest part for me was seeing my dad.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine just how he could feel and just, not physically be there at the
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah. And it was like that Sunday, I was just kind of like floating. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it was like I wasn't even here. Like, my feet weren't touching the ground. It was just kind of like, holy shit, like, what's happening?
Like what happened? Yeah.
I went up to my dad and I didn't even have tears to cry. It was mostly like anger. Like, I was so angry. Like,
Mhm.
that whole entire week, I was just angry. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Like, and then having like the kids there on top of that,
It was just hard.
it was just
Huh.
so
Yeah.
weird. Like, my uncle, their parents, which is my dad's brother, was falling apart too. And I knew that I had to get the kids to Mexico to him. A crazier part about that weekend was that, so basically the kids live in Baja California. If you're familiar with Mexico, it's like, it's right here. It's
Yeah.
like 2 hours away, passing San Diego, San Isidro. So I drive there and I cross like walking, right? That weekend they had shut down the borders because it was really bad due to the cartels there.
Oh yeah, I remember telling you about that.
Yeah, so I couldn't cross. Like I was in a limbo where I was like, dude, the kids, my uncle needs his kids, and I need to see my uncle. My uncle doesn't have anybody there.
Yeah.
But then a part of me was like, well, do I go? Because I mean, we could go in, but we just couldn't come out anymore.
Oh.
So it was like, fuck, like what do I do? Like I could potentially get stuck out there.
Yeah. And you don't want to be stuck out there because it
don't.
is freaking dangerous.
It was
over there.
super dangerous at the time, like
Yeah.
how it was. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just wait. I waited Monday, Tuesday came, and I was like, I have to go. I have to take the kids. My uncle was like really bad at that point. I was like, I'm gonna go. Whatever happens, happens. I went in like nothing, dropped off the kids, came back out like nothing. I was like, thank God, obviously,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm actually happy that I waited to go until like
Yeah.
Tuesday because during the weekend it would have been something else.
Mhm.
So that was basically my life from June to, I would say, August, just kind of grieving and going through like a bunch of. I went to my therapist and I was like, I think I need 3 sessions instead of 2 a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, August was just kind of like, I was just so angry, you know?
No, I understand because, it's hard taking a loss,
Mhm.
and it's harder knowing that it involves your parents
Mhm.
and just them not being able to see them. And, I get it and I
Mhm.
understand. And, like I always told you, like, things happened and we can't really control them.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, like, I'm always here. And, if
Yeah.
you need to cry, I'm always here. Like, we always have each other's back regardless.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
It was just a really tough time because of my dad's situation. It wasn't like I grieve her, but it's most likely like my dad. Like I
Your
see
dad,
him and he's like falling apart, and then I know he was just like he could have hugged his mom, and I just try to be there as much as possible. I printed out pictures of her, like I gave him a bunch of pictures, flowers. If you're familiar with like Dia de los Muertos, actually yesterday was the first day that you're supposed to put your altar. And I printed pictures off for everybody so she can be like on everyone's altar. Yeah. And then ever since, I just been super busy because of work, honestly.
Yeah.
I got a really, and I brought this up to Jackie when we did that whole break thing or had that break talk.
Yeah.
I told her, like, dude, my job is offering me this. Like, I think I'm finding what I like as like career wise.
Right.
And doing what I love, like social media. So I was like, I have to take it. I can't say no.
Yeah. I mean, I always told you, like, fucking do it. Like, you know, like, this is something that you want to be continuing doing, and it could eventually help with the podcast. And fuck it. Like, you know, like, you're going to get a degree. Like, it's crazy.
That's what I told her too. Like, I think for a long time, I was always like, school's not for me. School's not for me. I'm never going to go back to school. Fuck that. Like, no. And then I was like, holy shit, but I can really make a career out of what I already want to do outside of like, you know, work. So it's just kind of meant to be. And then I just been going to school, trying to find a healthy balance between everything. And it's been working out. I'm going to the gym again.
That's good.
I'm juicing every day. It's like, I think it's my thriving point right now.
No, that's good. And I'm actually so happy for you. You know, things are, you know, after that time frame, like, I think things are gonna get better from here on out, and I can't wait.
I know. I just gotta push through. Push through.
Yeah.
And even just coming back to the podcast, I was like, it'll give me some sort of like, okay, we need to really stick to the schedule now, because like you literally have no playtime now.
Right.
Like your playtime is like either like hanging out with your family to catch up or hanging out with friends to catch up. Like, it's no like downtime.
But also like prioritizing what needs to get done. You know?
For sure.
And don't take on things that you can't.
I don't do it. Lately, it's kind of been like, if I can't do it, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's just, actually on Friday, I got in an argument with my little sister.
Oh, really?
We'll get into that later, but it's just kind of like, I can't do it. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I have to put myself, this is what I told my mom. For the rest of the year, and even going on to next year, I think, until I officially get my degree and I'm like in the, you know, in the actual position, I told her, you're going to get BM from me, bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what you're going to get. And in order for me to help you guys out, I need to prioritize myself right now. My mental health, my studies, my job, like, and she understands. My mom is 100% supportive. It's just my siblings are so used to like, Ellie this, Ellie that, Ellie this, like, you know, and I still do it. Basically the argument was that on Friday we were going to have like a spooky day.
Oh, okay.
And I promised to go to the movies and then the spooky car wash, and then we're going to carve pumpkins with the family. It's like a tradition type of thing. Well, I couldn't make it to the movies, and she got upset with me. And she was like, you told us that you're going to do this and that. And I was like, dude, I fucking can't. I blew up on her. I was like, you should be fucking lucky that you have a sister that wants to do shit with you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't have that.
Right.
I was like, I prioritized making you guys feel like I have your back. And then me and my little sister never fight. We're like angels with each other. But I was like, I have to tell her. Like, and my mom's like, yeah, it's fucking true. And I told her, I wish growing up, I had a sibling or a sister that wanted to do these things with me. You should be grateful.
Yeah.
And then she was just crying and I was crying. I was like, this is a mess. But stuff like that, you know? I was like, I just can't, dude. I can't. And the old me would have been like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to do my homework later and then focus on you guys. When I was like, no, I'm going to do my homework and then we'll do whatever we can. But yeah, that's my life right now. What about you?
I don't even know. Like, there's just so many things that have happened. Like,
let's start with how's July?
Well, it was kind of hard because I was like, what do I do without the podcast? Like, you know, and I told you, and I was honest with you, and I told her like, damn, like this is like the hardest things, like the hardest thing that I kind of have to like deal with and just kind of put to the side. But I was okay with it. I just didn't know what my life would consist of it without it. Um, because I'm still on this journey of trying to figure out who I am and just learning, like prioritizing myself. I'm in a happy, healthy relationship with my boyfriend, and I feel like one thing that I don't do is I don't prioritize myself. And I think that's the main focus that I want to do in the next couple months and then in the next year. Um, but yeah, I'm still on this learning process of learning to love myself and be a better version of myself. And I know that I can eventually achieve that. But obviously, it is going to take some time. I think right now I'm at a good place with myself, with my parents as well. As you guys know, like I don't really have the best relationship with them, but it's, trauma, things that I have kind of dealt with, things that have happened to me in the past. But things have been getting a lot better with them. My dad has been showing me like things that I've never would have imagined him do. Um, but all I can say is things are getting better. My birthday just happened. Eric's birthday just happened, and that was just so crazy. Like we were supposed to, I think, record like I think that week that I was gonna leave, but it didn't happen. But yeah, like I'm 25 and it's crazy.
Yeah, right.
I'm like 25 with no kids. Like it's crazy, but I'm blessed to be here and have another year and just continue doing this and just I don't know. Like I don't know what life is going to happen or like what I'm going to, get myself into. Like I know what I want to do and obviously it is with social media. But it's just all about just starting it and doing it. And I think that we've talked about that before because a lot of the time we hold ourselves back from posting on our personal Instagrams. But I think now it's kind of like fuck it, like it is what it is. Like nothing's gonna be perfect, and I think it's time for me to finally just put myself out there and express like who I am and what I do and what I love, and I think it's time. Like
I think
But-
I do see it to where like you hold back as far as like being yourself on social media. And that could just be like many reasons. Like
I think it's just things that I have kind of just been dealing with, personally. Things that I have not talked about on this podcast. But that is something that I want to eventually talk about. And of course, like, there's a lot of things that I don't say on here. Just, I think it's just a way of protecting myself. But I think the only way that I'm going to be able to heal from everything is by talking about it. And I think it's time for me to just do that,
I think even just talking about it and realizing that like you're probably not the only person that has gone through that, it's gonna make you feel so much better and being like, well, I did this to cope with that, or I did that. Right. This didn't work out for me. Maybe therapy wasn't helpful, or my therapist said this. Like, you feel less lonely, and you're like, holy shit, if that person can do it, and they're kind of in social media too, like, why can't I not do that?
Yeah, I think most of the time, like, there's times where I do feel lonely, and I think I'm just in my head a lot of the time. But I think the only way to get myself out of there and get out of myself from like depression, I guess, is to talk to someone, and I know I've said it before that I was gonna do that, but I think if only you guys knew like just what I have gone through, like you guys would probably understand like, oh, she's scared, or like, oh, she's not ready, But I think I'm at a point where I'm like, I think I'm ready, and I think it's time for me to start learning, start learning to heal, and start learning to prioritize myself and just focus on myself.
I think the main point of like even just going through trauma or like healing is that our life is never truly going to be perfect at all. We're always going to be going through something. Like I was talking to my partner about this, that I felt like I had a breakthrough, right? Like it was kind of like, holy shit, I'm healed now. Like, and you think that you're going to be healed and the
But
world
you're
is going to
not.
be so
Yeah.
much better. And it's
Yeah.
not. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you heal, you're a good person, you know, you're taking care of yourself, but then something else comes. And that's
And you
just
gotta-
life. You
yeah.
kind of just have to keep healing all the time.
Not only that, but you gotta pick yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one thing that I want to do, and I think it's time. And you know, I've noticed you know, it's not a big difference, but for me it is, you know, because I'm learning as I go, and I think I've learned along the way how to cope with my feelings and just kind of just understand things. But yeah, life has been, it's been hectic, I guess you can say, but
Yeah.
I think I'm at a happy point in my life right now, and I can't wait. And not only that, but like just having this podcast back is like,
It's
I don't
healing,
know,
right?
it's yes, it's healing. Like it's like, all right, like I'm so ready to talk about everything that I haven't talked to you guys about. Like, you know?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of ideas, and just like, even, oh my God, we missed the whole fucking point. We went to the Bad Bunny concert.
Oh my God. Oh my God, you're
That was
right.
like, yeah.
It's because there's just so much.
I know,
like,
I know. But guys, we went to a fucking Bad Bunny concert.
Yeah.
September.
It was at the end of September. Yeah, at the end.
And we made it a girls trip. We made it a freaking girls trip going out to Vegas. And that was Jackie's first concert.
Yeah.
And it was like your first girls trip.
Yeah.
And it was cool because like me and Jackie don't really get to do those things.
Yeah.
I get to do it with like a lot of other people, but I don't get to do it with Jackie.
Yeah.
But I don't even know why, but
yeah, I don't even know why.
It's just like, it was so much fun. And like I told Jackie, like, I want to bring you on to like doing these type of things, like going out with other girls, meeting like other girlfriends, like just living, like getting to know other people. Like, I think it'll be so much fun. And then you have the personality for it. You know, you're able to like jump in and be like, hell yeah, like, I can vibe with like whatever is happening.
In the beginning, I'm a little like shy, but I think once I get into like my element, then I'm like, all right, like I, you know, I'm here, like I'm physically here, like I can talk to you, I can be myself, you know?
It was so much fun. We stayed at a hotel.
It was a bougie ass hotel. When I tell you like how the view, it was just amazing.
It was nice.
Yeah.
We like laid out on the pool. We had drinks. We got tipsy. It was fun. We had good food.
Oh my God.
So many memories. Like,
no. So many photos too.
Yeah, it was so cute. Yeah. And I think we should do it again. But yeah, we went to a Bad Bunny concert together.
It was amazing. I know. The experience, just being there. Our outfits were
so cute. I keep telling everybody that hasn't gone to a Bad Bunny concert, like, you need to be there to get it.
Yeah.
Like, the energy there, everyone, okay, when you go to a concert, it's cool, everyone's vibing, like, there's a couple fights in each corner.
Yeah.
Like, but this was like, I don't know,
it was just all love, like everybody was just getting along with each other.
Yeah.
Like everybody was just vibing.
Yeah, like everybody was like on the same fucking frequency. Like everyone was just cool, drunk, like we were just dancing. We got into a fucking expensive, exclusive ass nightclub
without even like walking in, huh?
We were just dancing there for a while until we got tired. It was cool. We got home. It was just a nice weekend.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. And then I don't think we haven't seen each other since.
I don't think so.
No,
not since that. Because then that following week, it was like a chill week. And then my birthday happened, and then I left for like a couple days, and then that following week it was Eric's birthday, so then we left again. So then I was like, oh, I can't, like there's just no, because we were supposed to have like our, I think it was like Halloween costume thing, and we were supposed to record, but it just wasn't gonna happen. Like there was just no time for me to like do that and then come back and then hurry it up, and then like it was just no time. Yeah. So literally just till today we saw each other after the Bad Bunny concert. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the updates that we have.
Yeah.
What should we expect from the podcast now or this season?
I think say more of us just being more open. I think us posting more, doing more reels for you guys, YouTube.
Everyone loves the reels.
I love the reels. Yeah.
I always look at them. I always go back and I'm like,
I always rewatch them. I'm like, dude, this is us? Fangirly?
I know.
Yeah.
But you guys, we posted like a quick
Q&A.
Q&A on Instagram. Let's see. We got a couple questions, so I'll just go through them. First question, how have you guys been mentally and physically? I am doing okay mentally as far as like my mental health. Like, I don't really have anxiety like that anymore. I don't, just kind of vibing. What I'm struggling with is like, I'm just tired because I'm going to school
working, huh?
and I'm working. Like, I wake up at like 4:30. I go to work. I come back at 3:30. And then I have to do schoolwork. And then I have school nights twice a week.
Oh, okay.
And then after school nights, I go to the gym. So it's like, I love it because I'm taking care of myself, but I am exhausted sometimes. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm still pushing through, but I'm doing good. Physically, I'm taking care of myself, going to the gym. I actually wanted to start doing like some sort of either like hot yoga or something like that.
I would love to do Pilates. A lot of girls are doing that right now, and I want to see what it's about.
Yeah. I think it's a trend right now to do Pilates.
I think so.
But yeah, just, you know, I've been doing good. What about you?
We should take dance classes.
We should take strip classes.
Oh, I sent you that, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, let's do this. For me, I'm hanging on. I'm
hanging
on barely. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just learning to cope. Mental health it's okay right now. It's not the best, but you know, as the day goes by and just, you know, I'm still learning but it's not the worst. But I'm just happy to be here and just continue.
Yeah. Second question, kind of same thing, but how are you girls doing? No, really, how are you doing? I'm doing good. Doing good. We're like,
I think we're in a good place right now. Like, we're in a good place to just do this and continue with the podcast. And one
thing I notice about like me and Jackie is when we start doing the podcast, I can see it a lot in Jackie. She starts thriving, I think, because she's like talking, and she's out there more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think bringing the podcast will be good for both, actually.
Yeah.
Just kind of like being able to talk, sit down, be like, oh, okay, like
let's do
this. What happened this week?
Yeah.
Chisme, everything.
I think this is more. It's not really like a job, I guess. It's more of like we have people who relate, and it's more like me and Ellie are here together, you know, friends talking about life, and you know, people relate to that. Yes. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so open to everything, because I'm like, okay, I have a lot of things I want to say, but I just don't know who to say it with. So I think having the podcast is so perfect for me to just be open about it.
And then this platform, obviously, it's like it's a lot of Latina people. I think honestly majority of them.
Yeah.
You guys are Latinas, and there's so many like podcasts out there that are hosted by like Latinos, but they don't really talk about like what we go through and how we grew up. And the cool thing about me and Jackie is that we're like two different nationalities. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. I think it's just two different countries.
Oh yeah.
So her things are like way different than mine, but similar
in a way. Yeah.
So it's cool because you get two different perspectives. It's two different types of like Latinas. You know what I mean? Like I grew up very like super like close to my family versus like Jackie grew up not super close and not a huge family. And you get the best of both worlds, basically.
Right.
Okay, so third question. Are you guys still going to continue doing the podcast?
I think that was one of the questions we would get a lot.
Yes.
People at my job would tell me, what happened? Like, are you guys not friends anymore?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, where did you guys get all these ideas?
That's like, you should be like, you should listen to a podcast.
I don't know. Maybe y'all should, you know, talk to Ellie.
But yes, we're going to continue doing the podcast. I think.
What do you mean you think?
No. I was going to say, you didn't let me finish. I was going to say, I think until we're like really, really old, but we don't know. We can't plan things. But yeah, we're going to continue doing the podcast, the reels, the vlogs for you guys.
Yeah. It's a lot of exciting things.
I know. But I think that's it.
For now, huh?
For now. We'll continue like answering on Instagram if you guys keep asking us some. But we're super excited and we're like glad to be back.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. I'm shy.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm shy.
But I don't even remember how we used to close out the episodes.
I don't know. It's been a really long time, but
I know.
Make sure you guys subscribe. Follow our Instagrams, both ours as well. So mine is Spanish Horchata.
And mine is La Niña Fresa.
And then our podcast is Latina Needs Therapy 2.
Our TikTok. We need to get back on TikTok.
Our Buy Me a Cup of Coffee.
Oh, yes.
What else?
Our YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
We already said that?
Yeah, we said YouTube.
What is our... Oh, This Latina Needs Therapy too.
Yeah.
And then you guys, one thing I do want to mention is we have an email. A lot of people are sending us messages, like professional people, and being like, hey, do you guys have an email?
Yeah.
We want to work with you guys. We want to, collab. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's actually This Latina Needs Therapy 2 pod at gmail.com. It's in our bus. It's all over.
I think
our
it's
pages.
on Buzzsprout, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On our YouTube as well. If you go to our YouTube, it'll say like their email address. So message us. A lot of collabs are going to be happening.
I'm excited for that.
It's so dope because we're like, it's like therapists, all different type of people. So excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for the first episode.
Our first episode. We'll be back
very, very soon.
We don't know when, but we'll figure things out for you guys. And yeah.
Alrighty then. Oh shoot. Stay safe.
Anyways.
Oh, my bad.
Like what?
It's okay, you guys.
Yeah, it's okay.
They'll hear it next time.
I'm like, wait, what? All right.